You're listening to the Cool Audio Podcast, your escape into the world of stories, sounds, and imagination. Whether you're driving, chilling at home, or just need a moment to unplug, we've got a story just for you. So sit back, relax, and let the journey begin. When Justin realized that the amulet was gone, he became extremely frustrated. He had finally figured out this key item, but it had mysteriously disappeared. After fretting for a long time, Justin tried to calm himself down. He took a deep breath before chanting the scriptures. To him, memorizing the scriptures of the Great Compassion Mantra was harder than reaching the heavens. But now he could recite it so smoothly. Every word was extremely clear. Except, after memorizing for a long time, he still did not feel the earth shaking and the scene before him collapsing. He tried again, over and over, 3 times. It was still not working. Justin was a little disappointed. What's going on? Yeah, why did it work before but not now? Could it be because of the amulet? As long as he found the amulet and recited the scriptures, would that be enough? But where to find the amulet? In the middle of the night, Justin couldn't sleep anymore. He took off his pajamas, changed into casual clothes, and prepared to go out. Walking out of the room, Justin knocked on Anne's door. "And wake up! Come with me!" There was no sound from inside. Master Anne, get up! I have an important discovery." Justin's voice was already very loud, and all these years, Anne was a light sleeper. Not to mention such a loud noise, as long as there was even the slightest sound in the house, he would be startled awake. He was a very alert person. However, no matter how much Justin yelled, he didn't respond. "Anne?" Justin tried to shout again, but there was no response. Justin's heart sank, and he subconsciously kicked the door open. He thought that something must have happened to Anne. Could he have been kidnapped? However, when Justin pushed open the door, he let out a sigh of relief. Anne was still lying motionlessly on the bed with a navy blue blanket over him. As he slept peacefully, he could even see his chest heaving up and down. "Master Anne, wake up! Why are you sleeping so soundly? Did you secretly drink alcohol?" Justin knew that Anne wasn't in a good mood, especially after Fiona's accident. Anne had even tossed and turned in bed, unable to fall asleep. That was why Justin thought that he was drunk and didn't respond. However, even when Justin walked up to him, Anne still didn't wake up. "And don't scare me." Only then did Justin realize that something was wrong. He crouched down and carefully smelled Anne's body. There was no smell of alcohol. He placed his finger on the edge of his nose and could still feel his steady breathing. However, why was he unwilling to wake up? No matter how he screamed, there was no reaction. "And don't scare me!" Justin was a little annoyed. As he shouted, he reached out to grab Anne's collar. Then, he pulled. Justin was almost scared out of his wits by the sudden tug. Anne's rosy cheeks suddenly turned pale. His originally steady breathing began to quicken. "What's going on?" Justin shivered and let go of him, and lay back on the bed without any intention of waking up. However, the miraculous thing was that the moment he laid down, his breathing became stable again. What's going on? And don't scare me. Are you possessed?" Justin had never seen anything like this. He was so scared that he didn't know what to do. After a long time, Anne did not respond. Justin pulled Anne up again to see what was going on. This time it was even worse. Anne's mouth started bleeding and Justin froze. At the Undersea Palace, in the room where Fiona was imprisoned, she was still deep asleep, and stood guard over her as if he couldn't get enough of her, and wasn't stupid. He knew that if it wasn't for Professor Wagner, he might have already been killed by these people. After all, to these people, he was just a small character, and his death didn't matter. He wasn't as important as Justin and Jack. From time to time, the guards would deliver food, and wasn't in the mood to eat, but he knew he had to fill his stomach. What if Fiona woke up and they could escape? He didn't even know where his master had gone. Anne's last memory was of him following his master to the North Pole. They slept in the supply station, then woke up and everything had changed, and picked up a piece of bread and drank a glass of water. Suddenly, there was a dull ache in his chest, and he felt something sweet in his throat. Then, the corner of his mouth started bleeding. What is happening to me? And didn't remember being injured, but he had indeed bled for no reason, and he felt like his organs were being pulled by someone. That feeling, that indescribable pain. Puh! And spat out a mouthful of blood. He threw away the bread in his hand and knocked over the cup of water. He fell to the ground and began convulsing. At the main hall of the undersea palace, Lynn saw everything clearly. Every room and place had surveillance cameras. It was obvious who she wanted to watch. "Where's Justin?" Lynn asked. Messiah dropped to her knees in panic when she heard that. "Why are you kneeling? Say something. I'm asking you a question. Where's Justin?" Lynn's voice was cold and carried a hint of bloodthirst. "Master, Justin, he escaped." When Messiah checked each person's locked room, as usual, she realized that Justin's room was empty. When she checked the surveillance footage, she realized that Justin had indeed disappeared. It was in that very well-sealed room. "Escaped? Do you know what you're talking about? How could anyone escape from my undersea palace?" How could Lynn believe it? "Master, please calm down. Justin didn't escape from us. He brought something with him. He was chanting something and disappeared in an instant. I suspect that Justin uncovered our secret." "Impossible! How could this be?" Lynn was shocked. "Didn't you see it just now? We can only see that kind of scene if he decrypts it and returns. That's why he can touch that follower of his. That brat just vomited blood. If he continues to move that follower, he'll really die." Messiah explained all this. Lynn didn't want to admit it, but she had to. It was such a meticulous plan, such a big plan that even Professor Wagner was part of the scheme. However, Justin escaped. Justin the escaped fish. It's good that he escaped. He's not that useful anyway. After Jack comes here and I get the red demon, I'll take them all down. Lynn clenched her fists tightly, showing no mercy. Of course she was referring to Chloe and her baby. Seeing and vomit blood, Justin didn't dare to move him anymore. Frightened, he quickly placed Anne in his original spot. Then, he sat by the bed and observed carefully. Just as Justin expected, Anne gradually recovered after he stopped touching him. His complexion regained its rosy color, and his breathing stabilized once more. "What is exactly going on? Can someone tell me exactly what happened?" Justin was dumbfounded. He suddenly took out his phone and looked at the date. Indeed, there was still more than a month before the new year. Chloe's due date was approaching, and it was the day he was kidnapped by Zoe. But what happened afterwards? Did he transmigrate back? But why was Anne like this? There were too many questions in Justin's mind, and he didn't dare to touch Anne. He picked up his phone, put on his coat, and went downstairs. Then, from the garage, he brought up the black Lamborghini Sixth Element, which he hadn't driven in a long time. He left the private villa at lightning speed. The first person Justin called was Jack. Jack had always been smart and quick-witted. Justin wanted Jack to help him analyze what was going on. However, Jack didn't pick up. Then he called Chloe again. Weird, why aren't they picking up? In Justin's recollection, Jack rarely didn't pick up his phone. Jack wanted to give Chloe and the kids a sense of security, so his phone was almost never turned off or on silent mode. It was at its loudest for 24 hours. It didn't make sense that he couldn't hear it even after so long. Unwilling to give up, Justin called again. But no one picked up. Justin felt like something was wrong, but he still decided to go to South Hill Manor. If he really transmigrated back, time would flow backwards. Then everyone should be around. Jack and Chloe were probably the same as before the incident. If Justin told everyone what happened in advance, would it then be possible to avoid the series of tragedies that follow? 15 minutes later, Justin's car slowly drove into South Hill Manor. The bodyguards at South Hill Manor recognized Justin's car and didn't stop him. Justin parked his car outside the castle. He opened the door and got out of the car. Uncle George, the butler of South Hill Manor, was walking towards him. Uncle George. "Young Master Cooper, it's so late. Why are you here?" "Are Jack and Chloe home?" Justin asked anxiously. "Yes, young Master and Madam are both here." Hearing Uncle George's words, Justin let out a sigh of relief. At least they were there. They were all fine. None of them were in the hands of the bad guys. "Can I meet them? I have something important to say." Justin panted as he spoke to Uncle George. "Sure, come in with me." Uncle George knew how close Justin was to his mistress, so he warmly welcomed him in. "They're probably already asleep. Let's knock on the door and wake them up." As Uncle George led Justin upstairs, he carefully spoke to him. Justin didn't say anything. He was a little vexed. He had a bad feeling about this, but he couldn't put his finger on it. In any case, he was very uncomfortable. They arrived at the master bedroom on the second floor. Uncle George bent down and knocked on the door gently. Young Master Cooper is here to visit." For a long time there was no sound from inside. "Young Master, madam. Young Master Cooper is here to visit you." Uncle George deliberately raised his voice. But there was still no response. Before Uncle George could say anything, Justin kicked the door open. Then, he stared at the bed in the master bedroom. Chloe and Jack lay side by side on the bed. They were covered in a quilt made of silk. It was apricot yellow. It looked like the two of them were asleep. However, Jack and Chloe were both light sleepers, so it didn't make sense for them to not wake up after shouting like that. "That's weird. Young Master and Madam wake up easily every day. They wake up at the slightest sound. Why are they still sleeping today?" Uncle George muttered under his breath. Justin walked up to the bed and looked at Jack and Chloe. There was nothing wrong with them from their faces. They looked just like when they were usually asleep. Justin gritted his teeth and pulled Jack up. But the moment he moved, Jack's face went from red to pale. Beads of sweat formed on his forehead. Justin immediately understood what was going on and didn't dare to move. He quickly put Jack back down. At this moment, Jack was on his private jet, heading straight for the North Pole. He was carrying the location given by Granny. He was not in the mood to eat or drink anything on the plane. Just as he was looking at the night sky outside the window, thinking about how he could save his wife when he got there. Suddenly, he felt his head spin. That feeling was even worse than seasickness. He wanted to vomit. In an instant, his forehead started to sweat. "President Dawson, are you okay?" His subordinate quickly handed him a piece of tissue. "I'm fine," Jack said, but when he spoke, his breath sounded weak. What was going on? Why did he suddenly have this feeling, as if he was about to die? At the South Hill Manor. After Justin put Jack back in his original position, he fell onto the carpet with a pale face. "Young Master Cooper, what's wrong? Are you feeling unwell? Do you need an ambulance?" Uncle George was terrified to see Justin like this. He thought he had some old illness. "Uncle George, when did they come back?" "Are you asking about young Master and Madam?" "Yes," Justin nodded, panting. "Young Master and Madam were just like usual. After they came back, they had dinner, and Madam even coaxed the kids to sleep. They probably fell asleep at 11 p.m. "It's 3 in the morning. It's only been 5 hours. How did this happen?" Justin couldn't understand why they had become like this, even though Uncle George said that they were fine when they came back. Justin didn't dare to touch Chloe, because he knew. Chloe was definitely in the same situation as Jack and Anne. As long as he moved her, something big would happen. She would either sweat or vomit blood. She might even lose her life. However, according to Uncle George, Chloe was still coaxing the kids. Children? At the thought of the word children, Justin got up from the ground. "Uncle George, are Pudding and Little Bean home?" "Yeah, they are sleeping in their room." Uncle George was surprised. He didn't know why Justin was so crazy tonight. "Bring me there, quick, quick!" Justin couldn't wait to see the twins. He just wanted to confirm something. He wanted to see if the twins had the same problem as their parents and Anne. They looked like they were asleep, but could not move. If they moved, their lives would be in danger. Justin couldn't even wait to knock before he barged in. Looking at the two children sleeping on the princess bed, his heart clenched. "No, Pudding and Little Bean, nothing must happen to you." Justin kept mumbling to himself as he ran towards the bed. Justin had just arrived by the bed, and before he could see clearly the two children lying on the bed, one of them got up immediately. Little Bean's hair seemed like it exploded as she looked dazedly at Justin. "Eh? Handsome Cooper, why are you here? Ha, am I dreaming?" "Little Bean, I'm so glad you're okay." Justin couldn't help but reach out to hold Little Bean's face. Just then, Pudding sat up. "Handsome Cooper, what happened? It's so late, why are you here?" Pudding was relatively calm. She was surprised to see Justin at her house in the middle of the night and seemed anxious. "There's no time to lose. Get up and follow me." Justin felt that it was fortunate that the twins weren't affected, but he couldn't let them stay at home. After all, both Jack and Chloe were under some kind of influence. Although they didn't know what Justin was up to, the two children trusted him. Therefore, they quickly put on their clothes and left with Justin. Uncle George, the butler of South Hill Manor, was also stunned. Before they left, Justin said, "Uncle George, I'll take the kids with me. If Chloe and Jack wake up, tell them not to worry and tell them that I'm bringing them to the Cooper family mansion. My mom misses the twins." Okay. Uncle George naturally didn't dare to ask about his masters, especially since he knew that the Cooper family and the Dawson family were close. Mrs. Cooper treated the twins as well as her own granddaughters. After Justin picked up the twins, he hurriedly drove out of South Hill Manor. Along the way, his mind was still wandering. He kept thinking about what was going on. His mind was in a mess. On the way, he called Brenton, Victoria, Max, and even Avery. But surprisingly, no one picked up. Justin hung up the phone anxiously. "Handsome Cooper, what happened? Why did you pick us up in the middle of the night?" Pudding was still curious and couldn't help but ask on the way. "Everything's fine. I just missed you guys. Don't let your thoughts run wild. How about staying at Grandma Cooper's place for the next few days?" "What about Daddy and Mommy? We didn't even tell them, is that okay?" Little Bean was worried that Mommy would blame them when she woke up. Ever since they sneaked out in America and got reprimanded by their mother, Little Bean didn't dare to not tell Mommy and run off anymore. Hence, she was still slightly worried. "It's okay. I'll call your Mommy and Daddy. I'm probably going on a long trip with them soon. They're going to help me with my business, so there will be no one at home and no one to take care of you. So you two can stay at Grandma Cooper's, okay?" Justin casually made up an excuse. "Sure, but can I not go to school?" Little Bean began to exploit the situation. "Yeah, sure. You don't need to go to school." Justin replied vaguely, but Little Bean was extremely happy. Pudding, on the other hand, had a calm expression on her face. She seemed to be thinking about what's going on. In less than half an hour, Justin brought the twins to the Cooper family mansion. The defenses of the Cooper family mansion were very strong. Because of Grandpa Cooper's position, it had always been well protected. There were so many guards. It was because of this that Chloe stayed at the Cooper family home during her pregnancy to avoid Andrew's harassment. Of course, Mrs. Cooper treated their sudden arrival differently. Before entering, Justin was worried that his own mother might have fallen for it too. But when he saw her coming down the stairs in her nightgown, he dismissed the idea. "Justin, it's so late. Why are you here? Why are the twins here?" Mrs. Cooper was clearly unaware of all this. "Grandma Cooper doesn't know we're here?" Pudding looked up at Justin warily. "It was an emergency, so I didn't have time to tell her yet. But it's fine. Just stay here and tell Grandma Cooper if you need anything. Don't stand on ceremony." Justin rubbed Pudding's head, trying to bluff his way out. Although Pudding was already suspicious, she believed that Justin wouldn't do this for no reason. There must be something important to do, so she didn't continue questioning him. "Mom, it's an emergency. I'll leave the children with you for now. No one is allowed to see them except me, okay?" After saying this, he added worriedly into Mrs. Cooper's ear, "Even if Jack and Chloe come, don't let the children leave no matter what." "Justin, what's going on?" Mrs. Cooper was confused. She had even thought that her son loved Chloe so much that he wanted to steal her child. Otherwise, why couldn't the parents be able to bring the child away if they came? It wasn't that Justin didn't trust Jack and Chloe. He just wanted to be careful. He had seen Layla before, and she looked exactly like Chloe. He was afraid that the psycho would take the twins away with him. "Mom, don't ask too much first. I don't have time to explain. I'll tell you about it later. You just have to remember what I said. I'm definitely doing this for the sake of the children. I'll tell you everything after this." "Okay, be careful." Over the years, Justin had always been a reliable person, despite his bad temper and stubbornness. Therefore, Mrs. Cooper didn't doubt her son's motives. She guessed that he had something unexplainable. Mrs. Cooper held the children's hands and walked upstairs. Suddenly, the red string around her neck caught Justin's attention. "Mom, what is this?" Justin pointed at the thing around his mother's neck. "Are you dumb? It's an amulet. I asked for it for you back then, but you refused to bring it with you. I kept it in your room upstairs, but I've been having nightmares recently, so I found it and wore it myself. What's wrong?" Before Mrs. Cooper could finish, Justin pounced on her. He pulled out the amulet around his mother's neck. It was actually the one that he had been unable to find, the one that he had lost. The Great Compassion Mantra's scripture was still clearly visible. Why is it in your hands? Didn't you give it to me?" Justin was confused. "It's for you, but you said it's superstitious, and you didn't want to bring it with you, and you had never worn it. I even got one for your dad and Grandpa, and they had all worn it. Only you didn't listen." Before Mrs. Cooper could finish, Justin took off the amulet and held it tightly in his hand. Hey, what are you doing?" "Mom, lend it to me." "Okay, go to sleep. I still have something on." Justin grabbed the amulet and ran out the door. Then, he left the Cooper family mansion in a hurry. Sitting in the Lamborghini Sixth Element sports car, Justin carried the amulet with him and took a deep breath. Then, he closed his eyes and began chanting the familiar spell. He really wanted to know if he would transmigrate back this time. However, after muttering for a long time, when he opened his eyes, he was still in the car, and the scene hadn't changed at all. What was going on? Justin was confused again. He looked at his watch. It was almost dawn. Justin took out his phone and opened a Snap group of rich people. He wrote, "Brothers, I feel like I've been possessed recently. Does anyone have a reliable master to recommend me? I'll definitely reward you generously." Logically speaking, no one would respond to Justin's message. Who wouldn't be sleeping at 5 in the morning? No one would wake up so early. However, Justin's friends were all rich kids who loved to have fun. Basically, they were all second-generation young masters from rich families, so they often played late at the nightclub, then had supper, then played games, or did unspeakable things with girls. There were also a few people who liked playing mahjong and playing cards. They would often book a presidential suite in a 5-star hotel and play cards. Therefore, Justin's words immediately caused quite a commotion. Rich Guy A: "Hey, young Master Cooper, you're still awake?" Rich Guy B: "Young Master Cooper, are you kidding me? What happened? Did you run into a ghost?" Rich Guy C: "Since young Master Cooper has spoken, we will definitely help. I know one, but he's just a fortune teller. How about this? He's a blind old man. He's in his 60s and lives in an area in the eastern suburbs. There's a poplar tree at the entrance. Have you been there before?" Rich Guy A: "That won't do. It's not like he's trying to tell his fortune. Didn't you hear from young Master Cooper that he was possessed? You should find someone with a higher cultivation level." Rich Guy D: "I know a Hong Kong-based fortune teller. He's quite powerful. 2 months ago, my dad's friend introduced him, and he came to our family's ancestral grave. I wonder if he can do it." Everyone was talking in the group chat, all of them wanting to help Justin. However, why did Justin feel like none of them were reliable? At this moment, someone sent him a private message. "Brother Justin, did you run into something dirty?" Justin looked at the person's profile and almost forgot who he was. After all, his profile picture and name were too cartoonish. He clicked into his Snap Moments and scrolled through it. After looking at the photo, he finally recognized that it was a child who was somewhat related to him. He was also a super-rich second-generation heir. He was not old, only about 21 or 22 years old. He loved cars and often raced with Justin and the others. His family was also very wealthy. He was the only child and was spoiled by his father. However, it was said that half a year ago, he fell seriously ill and went overseas to seek treatment. In the end, he was cured, but Justin did not know the method as he rarely contacted these kids. "Jet, you're still awake?" "Yeah, Brother Justin. If you want to find someone to exorcise evil spirits, I know someone." "Are they reliable?" Justin honestly didn't believe a child's words. These young, rich second-generation heirs were actually very innocent and were often deceived by some charlatans. "Brother Justin, to tell you the truth, have you heard about my illness?" The kid sent a voice message this time. "Ah, I heard a little." Justin was still confused. "What does your illness have to do with me finding a spiritual master?" To his surprise, the kid continued, "Brother Justin, Actually, I wasn't sick at all that time. I was drunk and had offended a female ghost. I was haunted by her the whole time, so I fell sick. Really? Justin didn't believe him. It's true. How could I lie to you? If you don't believe me, you can ask my dad. My parents didn't know what was going on at first and took me to many hospitals. In the end, the doctors treated me as if I was mentally ill. Later on, one of my dad's relatives in the countryside said that it was a disease from evil spirits and brought me to the countryside. He found a crazy priest who wrote me a talisman. After drinking a bowl of water, I recovered. Is he that amazing? Justin was surprised again. Yeah, so if you're like me and have run into evil spirits, if you trust me, I'll take you to the countryside to find that person. I think he might have a way. Justin was a little moved by how serious Jet was. After thinking for a while, he replied on Snap, "All right, bring me there then. It's best if we leave now. I urgently need help." "All right, then come to my house to pick me up. Let's go now." Jet agreed readily. While picking up Jet, Justin called his friends again. He wanted to discuss this with them, especially Brenton. He was a scheming and intelligent man. Unfortunately, those people still didn't pick up their calls. Justin suddenly had a scary thought. Could it be that everyone had fallen for it? Just like Anne, Jack, and Chloe? Justin shuddered at the thought. At 5:20 a.m., a cleaner was already clearing the snow on the road. The winter in the north was always so cold that it made people shiver. In the car, Justin could feel the extremely low temperature. After picking up Jet, the two of them headed straight for the place Jet mentioned. They didn't talk much on the way. To be honest, Justin was scared out of his wits when he heard this kid talk so much about this topic, so he didn't dare to talk about it. There were many legends about supernatural beings in the north. Among them, the Bao clan immortal and the shaman god were extremely legendary. Older people believed this strongly. Most of the time, when the children were sick and the hospitals couldn't treat them, these so-called charlatans had their ways. Justin didn't believe it at first because he was from the military. He had always been an atheist. Hence, he had never believed in the amulet that his mother had given him. However, he had no choice but to believe it. Because this had happened to him. Although he didn't know if this country bumpkin priest that Jet was talking about really had some capability, at this moment, he could only try his best, because he always had a vague feeling in his heart. If he couldn't resolve this, then it would be very, very troublesome. Truth be told, Justin was right. If it wasn't for Justin this time, perhaps everyone's lives were in danger. Of course, that's a later story. After driving for more than 3 hours on the highway, they had covered a distance of several hundred kilometers. After getting off the highway and walking for another 2 hours, they finally arrived at the village that Jet mentioned, the Clearwater Village. It was a mountain village that was hidden deep in the mountains and forests. The only thing that led to the outside world was a seemingly ordinary winding path. Justin's Lamborghini Sixth Element had been completely destroyed trying to get here. Fortunately, they had finally arrived after a torturous ride. At the end of the village was a very old cottage. "This is it, Brother Justin." Jet pointed at the dilapidated house. At this moment, the door was pushed open and a man in tattered clothes walked out. His hair was coarse, and his clothes were tattered. Due to the distance, Justin could not see his facial features clearly. However, Justin noticed that he was a cripple, and his steps were uneven. "He's a cripple?" Justin frowned. He regretted coming to this place. He didn't seem reliable. "Don't look down on him. I heard that his leg was broken because he helped someone transcend their tribulation. He leaked the heavenly secrets. That's why he fell and broke his leg." "Is he really that amazing?" Justin was skeptical. At this moment, Jet called out from afar, "Master Thorin." When the man heard this, he slowly raised his head. When he saw Justin, he had a complicated look. "You guys should go back. I can't interfere with his business, nor do I have the ability to." The man glanced at Justin and coldly refused. Justin was skeptical at first, but Justin found his words interesting. With his temper, of course, he wouldn't leave. If nothing had been settled, why would he leave? He had suffered so much on the mountain road here. If he left now, wouldn't he have come for nothing? Hence, before Jet could reply, Justin walked over. "Hi, Master Thorin. I'm Justin. I don't care who you are. I can't do anything about your business. The man's tone was especially cold. He didn't even look at Justin. Master Thorin, please help my brother. He's my relative's brother. He's a really nice person. Seeing how unkind the master was, Jet hurriedly tried to smooth things over. Even if he's your father, I can't help him. The man remained firm. Master Thorin, I know you're not an ordinary person. You're not one of those scammers. Otherwise, we wouldn't have driven so long to find you. Let me put it this way. As long as you can help me, I'm willing to spend any amount of money. Justin had always been a super rich man, and he believed that there was nothing money couldn't solve. That was why he dared to make such a bold claim. Haha, do you think you're so great just because you're rich? Let me tell you, you're just lucky. Otherwise, all your friends would have been wiped out. If you can't even stay alive, why would you need money? You're so ignorant. Since you're back, you should just stop fooling around. You're really lucky. Master Thorin's words almost made Justin kneel down in excitement. If there was anyone who doubted this person's strength before, then now, Justin would almost give him a thumbs up. He didn't say anything to Jet along the way. He didn't even reveal what he had encountered. Or rather, no one knew about the strange things that happened to him. But this dirty-looking man knew. If he was not a deity, what would he be? Upon hearing this, Justin grabbed the man's arm. Master Thorin, I'm here to ask what's going on. Please help me. Don't Taoists always care about fate? There are so many experts in the world. It's fate that I came to your house. You can't leave me in the lurch. Unexpectedly, the man frowned slightly. He glanced at Justin and said impatiently, Didn't I tell you that you're fine? You're back safe and sound. How do I even save you? How about my friends? Justin's words made the man's expression change. It's good enough that you came back. Don't worry about others. They won't be able to come back, and it's about time. It won't be long before all of them die. Hearing this, Justin was even more annoyed. He knelt down in front of the man. Master Thorin, I know you're an expert. Please forgive me for offending you earlier. I sincerely came to ask for your help. I don't know what you need, but you can state any conditions you want. I'll definitely try my best to fulfill them. Please save my friends. I don't even know what happened to me. It's kind of ironic. You guys, you've offended someone. You've been targeted for a long time, so you've been lured into a trap. Justin, this isn't a small matter. The other party is an expert. I can't break it. I can't beat him. It's not that I'm scared. It's just that I really don't have the ability to help you, really. So you might as well find someone else. The man's attitude changed a little when he saw Justin kneeling down. Justin's heart sank upon hearing this. At this point, Jet couldn't watch it anymore. He had known Justin for so many years, but he had never seen his proud and arrogant brother bow down so humbly. Master Thorin, please help my brother Justin. He's really in trouble. Just treat it as a good deed. Justin lowered his head and gritted his teeth. God knew how much he was suffering inside. Suddenly, the amulet fell from his neck. The person stretched out his hand and caught it. His speed was so fast that it made people speechless. You've been to the Sanskrit temple? My mother asked for this. She has been a friend of the abbot of Sanskrit temple, Grandmaster Compassion, for many years. So that's how it is. Haha, what a coincidence. It seems like I have to be involved in your matters today. The person called Master Thorin chuckled. What are you? Justin was confused. The man looked at the amulet and skillfully tied a knot around Justin's neck, helping him to wear it. Grandmaster Compassion is my elder sister. Master Thorin's words surprised Justin. Logically speaking, the Sanskrit temple was not in the same direction as this place. They were practically in opposite directions. This person actually knew Grandmaster Compassion, and even had the same master. It had to be said that it was fate. It was snowing outside and the weather was getting colder. Come in with me. The man looked at the sky. After saying that, he turned around and entered the dilapidated thatched house. Jet helped Justin up. Then, he lowered his voice and whispered into Justin's ear, Brother Justin, Master Thorin is going to help you. Although he doesn't speak nice words, He's a really nice person. Yeah, Justin nodded. Without saying anything, he followed Jet in. Although the straw hut was old, the fire pit inside was very warm. After the man entered, he immediately got onto the brick bed and sat cross-legged. He took out a cigarette from the box beside him and started smoking. The smell was choking. Master Thorin, come, smoke mine. Justin was someone who cared about his face, so he took out a pack of cigarettes from his pocket and handed it over. Master Thorin glanced at Justin, took the cigarette, and put out his. Jet, go out first and wait for him in the car. This person had surprisingly sent Jet away. Justin also thought that he didn't want others to know about this. They might even think that he was crazy. Okay, Brother Justin, I'll wait for you in the car. Okay. After Jet left, Justin said impatiently, Master Thorin, Before Justin could finish, the man took a deep breath. He glared at Justin and asked, Tell me, how did you get back? Huh? Justin froze. Stop playing dumb. You can't hide it from me. You're the only one who came back. Tell me, how did you come back? Justin thought about it carefully and felt that it should be about his sudden transmigration. Hence, he told him everything. At the end, he didn't forget to add, Master Thorin, I've already transmigrated twice. I think it has something to do with this amulet and the scriptures. Every time I wear this amulet and recite the Great Compassion mantra, I'll transmigrate. But for some reason, I could only transmigrate twice. Now, no matter how I recite it, I would not transmigrate. I want to know what's going on. You think you're transmigrating? The man asked Justin. I think the time has gone back. To the past. Ha, what a stupid donkey, the man said. Justin's face darkened. You're not transmigrating at all. Stop having nonsensical thoughts. If it's not transmigration, then what's going on? You were set up, or rather your group was set up by someone, the person repeated. Set up? Justin was even more confused. When he heard that it was not transmigration, Justin was confused again, because in his subjective consciousness, he had transmigrated. And he clearly remembered that he had transmigrated twice. Every time, it was when he had an amulet and scripture. Then, the scene before him started to crumble. But now that Master Thorin said that it wasn't transmigration, it completely overturned his previous wild guesses. Justin was a little anxious. He moved closer to Master Thorin and anxiously explained, Master Thorin, can I see the future? Why do I feel like I'm seeing what's going to happen in the future? My friends are all captured. I have to save them. Aren't all your friends sleeping at home? Master Thorin blew out another mouthful of smoke. Justin was confused again. When he woke up, he realized that Anne, Jack, and Chloe were all sleeping in their own beds. But, no, Master Thorin, they're not sleeping. They must have fallen into some evil trap. Because when they sleep, I can't wake them up even if I call out to them. Moreover, as long as I move their bodies, they'll be in a state of near death. What exactly is going on? Justin knew that he was speaking incoherently, but he believed that Master Thorin could understand him. Sure enough, after hearing what Justin said, Master Thorin fell silent. Instead, he lowered his head and finished the cigarette in his hand in a few puffs before extinguishing and throwing it on the ground. Then, he looked up at Justin. Master Thorin, do you need my birth characters? Justin thought that these fortune-tellers would usually ask him for his birth date and birthplace before they started to read his fortune. But Master Thorin only smiled mysteriously. No need. I don't need those things. Let me tell you, Justin, you and your friends fell for the trick a long time ago. What trick? Justin froze. Do you know about Incubus? I do. It's one of those bad dreams where people meet terrible things in their dreams, and they can't wake up. Justin briefly explained what an incubus meant. Master Thorin nodded. More or less. But what does this have to do with the incubus? Justin asked anxiously. Let me explain to you simply. Someone fabricated a great dream of spring and autumn, allowing the dream and reality to constantly combine. In the end, all of you were lured into the dream. All of your friends are now in that dream, but you somehow escaped. Upon hearing this, Justin froze. This was something that was even more ridiculous than bumping into a ghost. Master Thorin told him that everything that he had experienced before was a dream. This kind of feeling was hard to express even if there were 10,000 alpacas. No, how could it be a dream? It's too real. Everything inside, the explosion, the dead people, everything is still fresh in my mind. I still can't forget it. Justin didn't want to admit that it was just a dream. Whether it was Layla, the dead Andrew, or Jack mysteriously telling him where he was going to save Chloe or the pregnant Chloe, how could all of this be just a dream? Didn't you listen to what I just said? I mean, someone intentionally lured you guys into a dream. This is a cycle of gradual progress. It's a constant process of combining dreams with reality. In the end, the reality was tossed aside and all of you were lured into it. Then, how did I escape? Justin was dumbfounded. Master Thorin rolled his eyes at Justin. What do you think, you stupid donkey brain? Think carefully. What exactly happened that made you start your so-called transmigration? Upon hearing this, Justin's eyes lit up. Then he subconsciously touched his amulet. It's the amulet, and I chanted the Great Compassion mantra. Master Thorin glanced at Justin and calmly said, That's right. It's the amulet and Great Compassion mantra. You look stupid as a donkey, but I didn't expect you to chant the Great Compassion mantra. I have to say, you're really something. The person who set this up probably didn't expect anyone to escape. Master Thorin, I still don't understand. Are you saying that I used the amulet and the Great Compassion mantra to escape the dream? Justin asked. Master Thorin nodded. But why did I escape twice? The first time I escaped from an underwater palace, I returned to the time when I was kidnapped in Yunnan. Then, I suddenly returned to my home from Yunnan. How do you explain all this? That's because you're already in the second stage of the dream world. No matter how powerful the amulet and scriptures are, it's impossible for them to send you back to reality in one go. If I'm not wrong, the so-called underwater palace you mentioned earlier should have been a dream in your dreams. The second stage of the dream, and then you return to the first stage of the dream. After that, I don't know what happened, but you accidentally escaped from the first stage of the dream and arrived in the real world. Have you not had enough after you returned? You even used your protective talisman and scripture to try it out, but it was useless. Master Thorin smiled mysteriously. Justin immediately nodded excitedly. Yes, I thought I could transmigrate again. Idiot, this is the real world. How are you going to transmigrate now that you're back? No. Master Thorin, if it's really a dream like you said, then when I woke up, I realized the amulet wasn't with me. I went back to the family mansion and asked my mother for it. I don't know why, but this thing was suddenly in my mother's hands. Justin looked down and touched the amulet on his body. He couldn't explain why the amulet wasn't on him when he woke up. Then try to remember. When did your mother give you the amulet? I was about to go to the North Pole to save my friend. Before I left, I missed my mom and went to see her. She gave it to me. Have you thought about it? It was actually in the dream. Your mom didn't give you any amulet at all. It was your own consciousness that forced it in. Justin was speechless. After all, there was too much information, and he couldn't digest it all. Calm down first. I'll drink some water. Master Thorin coughed a couple of times, then rolled off and fetched a bowl of water from the stove. Then he drank 2 big mouthfuls. When he came back, Justin was still in a daze. Have you thought it through? All right, Master Thorin. Even if I managed to escape because of the amulet and the Great Compassion mantra, what about my friends? Why aren't they awake yet? When will they wake up? Right now, Justin doesn't care about dreams. He just wanted to make sure that Anne, Chloe, and Jack were safe and sound and would wake up. Are you stupid? You were lucky enough to escape, and you still expect your friends to come out. You probably don't know how powerful the person who set up this trap is. You youngsters these days are really immature, like children. You don't know anything. Master Thorin seemed to find Justin's words childish and ignorant. Master Thorin, I think this is a little too ridiculous. Nightmares are usually when one is alone in dreams. How can we have a dream with so many friends and such a large group of people? Before Justin could finish, Master Thorin took out another cigarette and lit it. He sneered. That's why I said you're too young. Kid, have you heard of hypnotists? Justin was stunned again. Hypnotist? The kind of hypnotist who can put you to sleep by swinging a pocket watch in front of you? Master Thorin shook his head. It's not that simple. You youngsters nowadays only know how to smoke, drink, and spend money to pick up girls. Why don't you go take a look at some useful information? 2 years ago, I saw on the internet a certain research center overseas. There was a high-level hypnotist who used his hypnotism to show others their own past lives. It said that there was a person in America who even recalled his previous 9 lives. That's crazy. Justin was dumbfounded. This isn't science fiction, nor is it superstition. It's really high-tech. The hypnotists you know are just superficial. The ones that help patients with mental disorders can only be called psychiatrists, not professional hypnotists. Master Thorin, you know how to surf the internet? Justin was speechless. Acher looked at the man in shabby clothes in front of him. His hair was like a chicken's nest, and he looked like a bumpkin. Therefore, when Master Thorin told him about the internet news and technology, Justin was shocked. Of course, priests like us keep up with the times. If we don't go online, we'll definitely be eliminated. Occasionally, when I'm poor and can't eat, I'll open an online shop and read fortunes for people to live on. Justin was speechless. You still have the time to talk nonsense with me. Do you want to know who set you up? Master Thorin glared at Justin. Yes, I do. Please give me some pointers, Master Thorin. He had a vague feeling that this guy wasn't an ordinary person, so Justin's attitude became more respectful. To put it simply, you guys met a high-level, or even a super hypnotist, who set you guys up with a catalyst so that you guys would gradually fall into a dream and start hallucinating. Wait, Master Thorin, what do you mean by a catalyst? What do you mean by hallucinating? Justin wanted to know every single detail. If Master Thorin was a liar, he wouldn't be able to handle these sharp questions. There is a person who appeared around you guys, had a meeting with all your friends who entered your dreams, and took the opportunity to put the catalyst on all of you. To put it bluntly, it is a hallucinogenic drug that can make you enter your dreams. You will not be able to discover it. As for hallucinations, you will need to think carefully when you started to have these ridiculous things happen. After the ridiculous things happened, you would basically be half asleep. The ridiculous things. Let me think. I was kidnapped by Zoe? No. Oh, I remember now. It was my good friend who had a father who had died many years ago. He actually came back. After a checkup at the hospital, his genes were found to be the same. It's too ridiculous. Later on, he said it was cloned, which was even more ridiculous. Master Thorin's words made Justin try his best to recall everything that had happened recently. It suddenly occurred to them that James's appearance was the most ridiculous beginning, but everyone gradually believed it. Master Thorin nodded. The resurrection of the dead is indeed ridiculous, but you guys had believed it. Yeah, we all thought it was a clone. After all, there was indeed this technology now, Justin said. The power of the incubus is to make all of you gradually believe the ridiculous things, because what happens next is even more ridiculous, but you all completely accepted it. Master Thorin's words made Justin's hair stand on end. Yes, whatever about clones, blood-sucking Layla. He, Jack, and Chloe actually believed all of this. This was too strange. Why did it feel like he had just woken up from a dream? Now that you mention it, Master Thorin, I understand a little now. But you just said that we need a catalyst to enter the dream. There needs to be someone to secretly drug us, right? Justin grasped the key point. Yes, that's right. Without this step, they won't be able to complete the entire series of steps. But I don't have friends like that around me who would have the chance to drug us. My friends and I are all in the same circle. We don't trust people easily, so it's impossible that we didn't notice when someone drugged us. Justin wondered who was so good at drugging him and everyone else without anyone noticing. Master Thorin took another puff of his cigarette. Then you'd better think about it. Did you have any new friends in your life? And this person has a good relationship with everyone. He can make you believe him, but then he left without anyone knowing. You know, this kind of person who lured you into a dream will disappear after he completes his mission. His presence won't overlap in your dream, as he's afraid that you'll notice something and see through it. After Master Thorin finished speaking, Justin began searching through his memories. The friend who appeared recently, the one whom everyone acknowledged, to have a good relationship with. Could it be Melody? At the thought of these 3 words, Justin felt goosebumps all over his body. No way! Melody was such a nice person. How could that be? Later on, he thought about it. No, Master Thorin had said that he had appeared and left. Melody never left. Be it in the dreams or in reality, she seemed to always be there. Just then, another name flashed across Justin's mind like a sudden clap of thunder. Zoe. Yes, that's right, it was Zoe. She had appeared for a period of time and made everyone like her. Then, she disappeared for no reason. When they were in Yunnan, Andrew vaguely mentioned that Zoe was kidnapped by Layla and was killed. Therefore, Justin subconsciously thought that Zoe was dead. However, if what Master Thorin said was true and what happened in Yunnan was a dream, then when Andrew told him in his dream that Zoe was dead, it was probably untrue. Have you thought of anyone? Yes, I thought of someone. If there's anything else you don't understand, you can continue asking. Master Thorin smoked leisurely. Master Thorin, I would like to ask if a person is really dead. We saw with our own eyes that he died in the dream, or did he return to reality like me? Justin wanted to confirm Andrew's outcome. Andrew died during an explosion in Yunnan. But if everything was a dream, was Andrew still alive? It didn't matter if Andrew lived, but if he lived as Hunter, it would be terrifying. Let me tell you this. There are 3 types of people that appear in your dreams. The first type is you and your friends, the real people who were lured into the dream. The second type is created by the dream creator. They are illusory and fake, but you think they are real. The third type is the dream creator himself. However, the dream creator is very powerful. He can control the entire dream realm and will not let you discover it. In the dream, his identity is hidden. You cannot tell at a glance. If you just said that the person you know died in the dream, if he was created by the dream creator, then he would be fine. If he was like you and was lured into the dream, then he would have died. This is because he died in the incubus designed by someone and would really die. Justin's eyes widened. My friends are still in their dreams. Do you mean that once the dream maker deals with them, they'll never wake up? Yes, they will never wake up. They would be dead. Master Thorin nodded. Justin's heart sank again. Master Thorin, how do I differentiate between reality and a dream now? Didn't I tell you that from the moment the hypnotist drugged you, you were already in a dream when ridiculous people and things appeared? Actually, if you think about it carefully, there would definitely be many things that are different from reality. It's just that you were in a dream and didn't know you were dreaming. Master Thorin's words reminded Justin of something. He ate roasted duck in the underwater palace. Justin thought it was ridiculous when he saw the underwater palace. What kind of family background would one have to have built a palace with white crystals? However, at that time, his subjective consciousness had already believed everything that was happening. He didn't think he was dreaming, so he started to believe it foolishly. Now that he thought about it, there were 2 strange things. Firstly, Chloe's due date was long past, but she still had not given birth. Normally, a few days would not be considered long. However, it felt like a month had passed, and she still hadn't given birth yet. Now that he thought about it, this was a dream. Time itself was a deception. This morning, when Justin went to South Hill Manor, he saw Chloe lying on the bed. Her stomach was bulging. She hadn't given birth yet. But now, he was back to the past, back to reality. It wasn't time for her to give birth yet. The second strange thing was when Justin was eating roast duck. Chloe was kind enough to prepare a sumptuous meal for Justin. Justin only ate because he was hungry. Justin was usually carefree and ate anything. But he was actually a veteran foodie. Over the years, he had eaten a variety of delicacies from all over the country. There were many things that he knew were authentic just by smelling them. The roasted duck in the capital city was famous. Every time Justin went to the capital city with his grandpa, he would eat a meal there. Thus, he had been quite knowledgeable about roast duck over the years. In his dreams, the roast duck only had color, but it didn't taste the same. Justin Yu felt like something was wrong. Logically speaking, even if it wasn't delicious, there should at least be a taste. However, when he was eating with Chloe, Justin felt like he was trying very hard, but he couldn't get a taste. It was just like how you usually ate buns and ate them in one bite. Regardless of whether it was delicious or not, he could still taste something. However, the roast duck had no taste at all. Justin felt weird, but he couldn't put his finger on it. There were a few times when he actually wanted to say that he felt like they were in a dream, but when the time came, he did not have the chance to say it. From the looks of it, Lynn had two identities. It could be the person created by the dream creator, or it could be the dream creator himself. She was definitely not the person who had been lured into the dream, because in the real world, Lynn was a dead person whose body was still in the freezer in Iceland. These were all things that Justin learned in his dreams and secret conversations with Jack. Jack and Chloe were both highly intelligent people, but they couldn't escape from their dreams. It was like how we would still be scared half to death every night when we slept and had nightmares, because no one would be so smart to tell that they were dreaming. This was a scary thing. After thinking about it for a while, Justin finally figured out what was wrong. Then he excitedly grabbed Master Thorin's sleeve. "What are you doing? Stupid donkey, let go of me!" Master Thorin wasn't used to being pulled around by men. Thanks for tuning in to the Cool Audio Podcast. If you enjoyed the story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with a fellow story lover. Until next time, stay cool and keep listening.